Tune in to the QU Athletics Podcast to get to know your Hawks. We interview student athletes and coaches to deliver insight into their programs and life. I'm Will Connerly, voice of the Hawks. Welcome, everybody, to QU Athletics Podcast with head coach Ethan Arns and a couple of his players, Dane Michele and Layla Lees-Olston. And I'm glad you guys get to come on the podcast today. One of the only sports really having the opportunity to compete this fall. So that's what I wanted to first kind of cover. But before that, I wanted everybody to give a brief introduction of themselves, and then we can get into the podcast. If you want to start, Dane.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us. My name is, like you said, Dane Michele. I'm from South Africa. I'm here doing my master's, so you could say I'm a super senior. Just super excited for the season. I know it's been a little bit of a strange one coming into it. But other than that, training's been really good. Coach Ethan Arns, especially as a first time, has really done a great job organizing and keeping the team up to standard. So I think we have a good bunch of boys. Speaking for the men's team, Layla can speak about the women's. But in terms of the men's team, I think we have a good bunch of boys who are really excited and to see what happens and see where we can kick things off.
Yeah, hi. I'm Layla Lees-Olston. Thank you again, as Dane said, for having us. I think this is a really awesome experience to be able to talk about our program. Like you said, it is a good opportunity for us to be able to actually be able to perform this season, which a lot of other teams don't get to do that. I'm a junior on campus. I am a bio major with a concentration in pre-physical therapy. I'm really excited to be able to play this weekend, which we'll talk more in depth about. But also with our women's team, I think with Coach Ethan Arns leading a lot of more conditioning exercises for us, we've been able to really build our strength on and off the court. So I definitely love seeing that my girls are getting stronger, and hopefully that'll be able to be implemented this spring. So, Coach?
Yeah, no, it's so far so good. I'm glad to be here to be able to coach. I've got a great group of kids. Like I said, I talk as all of them like my kids. I was giving them a lecture the other day, and it's like, I'm sorry, I'll stop lecturing. But no, they've been really great. They've responded well. They've put in really hard work, and that's all I can really ask for. These two being my captains here, they've really stepped up in a leadership role and helped keep the team accountable. Obviously, with these crazy times with COVID, we all have to keep each other accountable and continue to do what we need to do so that we can compete. And luckily, so far, we've been able to do that, and fingers crossed we can continue it. But no, once again, thanks for having us on here, and we'll talk more about the season here coming up this weekend.
Yeah, definitely, and that's the first thing I wanted to kind of touch on is this weekend coming up. You have a scrimmage, right, coming up on Saturday, and then the women's team takes on Truman State coming up on Sunday, correct? So,
yes, that is correct.
And this is for anyone to answer. I mean, but what is this fall going to look like, and what is different from this fall from prior falls that you've had as we look forward to this season that you get to compete in?
Right. I mean, definitely less matches, which, it's compared to previous seasons. We've definitely had like a few good lineups of teams ready to play, but, unfortunately, based on the circumstances, there's only a couple programs able to actually want to compete. And of course, safety is a number one thing. And so that's why some teams kind of like opted out based on, their individual circumstance. But we're really happy that Truman is able to, we're able to go to Truman to play with them. But yeah, very, very pumped for that match. I think it'll be a nice way to kind of get into that match style level of play, since during practices, we've kind of just been working more so on like singles, doubles, things like that, but we actually get to implement it, and I think that's really nice to have, especially, like I said, under the circumstances.
Yeah, it's been tough scheduling things for the fall, and back when I was scheduling back in May, it's a question of, well, do we want to try to push things off to the spring, because we had no clue what this fall was going to look like, whether we were going to be able to compete or what we were going to have in front of us, and unfortunately had to cancel the 2 tournaments due to lack of play. And then the GLVC actually implemented we can only play other conference teams on our side and the other side, so that's made things difficult and limited us to who we can actually compete against. So it's been tough. It's been difficult, and that's a reason for having the scrimmage this weekend was, hey, let's try to have some sort of normal match play to get some more experience and to compete and enjoy it.
Yeah, I was going to say it boils down a lot to also like the preparation. That's quite a bit different. Last semester, last fall this time, the matches and stuff are good preparation, good match play, good practice for leading up to the season, and how things sort of go in the spring then when things really count. And now we don't really have that match play situation and that mindset of playing matches and stuff. So again, in practice, that's why we've been doing a lot of sets, a lot of match play, and hence the scrimmage as well, I guess, this weekend really helps to prepare us for match plays mentally and stuff like that. So it's also a really good preparation for the girls against Truman State on Sunday.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely. And I think that when you talk about the competitive environment with the team and within the team, and I know that a lot of players probably, a lot of athletes, and I know you guys can speak to this better than me, but probably didn't have a ton of resources to get a ton of match play in during quarantine. Or one, did you guys have the opportunity to play? And two, if you didn't, is that why you're kind of encourage them to get a lot of match play in to at least, replicate that? One, and two, kind of as a new coach, see what you have as a team?
Yeah, unfortunately, there hasn't been a lot of opportunity. I think I got to one tournament over the summer that I was luckily up in Iowa because they kind of stayed open. But it's been difficult for everybody to be able to compete all across the board. It's been tough. And I know I could just tell from the players' reactions after the first couple days of practice that they don't have the mental mindset, they don't have the match mindset, and so that's what me and my grad assistant Laura talked about. Let's have them start playing matches. We need to get back in that mindset, whether we can compete against a team like Truman or the scrimmage this weekend. Let's just start playing because nothing's going to substitute for that, getting into that mindset than just playing.
Right. Yeah. Over the summer, I was able to play a little bit just because I had a couple of resources that players that I know like from my area who were able to, but in California, where I'm from, it was a lot of opening and closing. So sometimes the courts would be open, and then sometimes based on like the protocols of the governor, the courts weren't open at all. So they were locked, and we pretty much couldn't really do anything about it. So it was definitely got a few practice matches in there, but not really any tournaments or anything to kind of prepare for being back on the court and being in that practice match mentality. Coach was saying too, it was definitely an adjustment having to get back into the way that practices are run. So having to really put a lot of effort into doing something like that, both mentally and physically. So I could say personally for myself, it was a rough couple of practices, but
practices for me.
Yeah, but it's gotten a lot better. Yeah, based on having more experience being out there on the court with what we've been doing. So I definitely feel more confident going into this weekend. Had I asked myself that, when we first started practice, if I'd feel this way, maybe not so much. But practice makes perfect. So
yeah, I didn't have. I had my brother over the summer to practice with and stuff, but it's not the same. You can't really compare just going out hitting a little bit with even a coach or a brother. In my instance, it was good. You go out, hit a little bit. We had a court that was open, which was 5 minutes from where we were staying. My family lives in Maryland. So it was good to get out and keep moving around and keep seeing the ball, but you definitely lose the footwork and the feet underneath your ball and just the moving around in a match. And it's completely different playing a bit of points and hitting from the back than going into a proper match play situation. Just also the duration of the match is so much longer. So when I came back, he had practice. We were playing 2-set matches, and after the first set, I was like, yeah, we need to call this quits.
Yeah, that stamina aspect is really,
Yeah,
it
so
really
the
hits
fitness,
you.
and that's also why we've been going hard in fitness, which is awesome. I mean, we haven't really had that before, and it's helped tremendously. I mean, I can speak for myself, and even just seeing the other guys really playing well, playing very good tennis, and being fit and strong after 2 sets in just a short amount of time that we've been doing fitness. So you can't compare, hitting around a little bit and then coming into practice matches and having that match play behind you. It really gives you that boost of confidence.
And how is this fall preparing you for the spring? What is the spring supposed to look like? With potentially more matches on the slate, and obviously this, you talk about preparing all quarantine and all time for now. What is this preparation in the fall prepare you for the spring? What does that look like?
Well, my goal here in this fall is to basically set the tone of where we need to be at for the spring. And even as we head into the winter months and some of the students go home, it's going to be a reminder of stay at this level, continue to do these exercises, work out, and hit as much as you can. And as soon as spring hits, we're going to hit the indoor courts. We're going to hit it hard and work as hard as we can so that we are prepared for when matches start, because I believe our first match is the 29th of January, and we have a couple in February. But I think this fall is just working hard, getting the team back out of that quarantine mode, and then understanding where we need to be at for the spring so that we can have a successful spring. And I think we'll get there. I have no doubt with these players. They're, like I said, hardworking, and they come out and they compete every time they're on the court. So.
Yeah, and you mentioned these players, some of the captains, but there's also new players on the team as well, aren't there? And can you guys imagine being a freshman coming into a situation like this, 1? And 2, how do you utilize kind of your experience being new as a captain now? How are you trying to lead these freshmen who come on campus into a new situation with a new head coach? How are you utilizing and trying to, gather these athletes who want to, be the future of the program that you're leading?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not an easy task. I mean, we just sort of take it day by day, because even as captains, as a head coach, like we don't know what's going on and what's going to be in the next couple of months, what's going to happen. So, it's hard to really say what to do and what not to do, but just take it day by day, and like we sort of try and make the most. I mean, for me, it's really about the experience as well. College is all about the experience and meeting new people and building the relationships and bonds and stuff like that. So as much as we can with social distancing and masks and all that stuff, we try and make sure that the freshmen and the new guys are involved in where they can be involved, hanging around the team, being close to the team, and just trying to give them that little bit of an experience that they would have, normally had coming in as a freshman in a normal situation. So I think that's a lot about, for me, is just keep making sure that they're involved, they're looked out for if they need anything. And yeah, just being welcomed, I guess.
Yeah, definitely giving them that extra attention, because you have to be understanding of, the predicament that they've been placed in. Like they were thinking before this all happened that they'd be able to have like that normal college experience, and going off to like a new place where they're away from their family, having this entirely new experience. It is something that you look forward to. And some of these freshmen, or all these freshmen, are just unable to have that ideal college experience. And I think that, like with our girl Steffi, we've been really just trying to like get her to still feel that picture that she had in her mind of what college would be like before coming here. And I think that, just having that understanding of where she's coming from, and then also making sure that she's able to be involved with the girls as much as possible. Unfortunately, she's been out for the first couple of months due to injury, but of course, when she comes back and hits the ground running, we'll be there for her, by her side, ready to support her on the court and ready to, welcome her back with open arms. But for now, we've just been really trying to make sure that she's been having that enriching college experience, and by getting her to be involved with the other girls outside of the team to kind of build those relationships that she isn't able to really be able to build at, due to social distancing and all that. So
I think as freshmen coming in as well, orientation is such a massive part of making those friendships and meeting new people. And for me, the craziest thing that I heard was most of it was done on Zoom.
Yeah, it was all
And
online.
that to me, like, I mean, you can't compare the situation of a Zoom class or a Zoom meeting to meet new people. I mean, you just don't get that personal interaction. It's
Right.
for me that was pretty
Yeah.
weird. You know, I mean, I met so many people in my orientation and built the relationships from that, and also just felt comfortable around campus because I've now seen them, you know, in orientation doing few activities and team building exercises, that you're not awkward walking around campus and not knowing anyone. You don't feel like a loner stranger. So yeah, for me that would have been really tough coming in as a freshman this year with the current situation. So just trying to be there for them and making sure that they're welcomed is super important.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine coming in whatever 9 years ago, I guess it's been, since I was a freshman.
You're giving away your age.
Yeah, no, we don't need to talk about that. But no, I couldn't imagine coming into something like this. And yeah, I think it's very important that we keep the freshmen involved, keep everybody involved so they can feel somewhat normal. And I think heading into this fall, we're going to look to have many more team bonding exercises or just meetings, whatever we can do, to just try to stay together as a team, off the court as well as on the court, because it is tough, and it's just very unusual. And
Yeah,
I know everybody's going through the same, but it's just it is a weird year, and just keeping everybody together, I think, is
But
gonna
tennis
be,
has helped a lot for me. I mean, doing my master's program, it's all online. All of my MBA classes are online. So without tennis, I wouldn't really have. And that's pretty much the reason why I'm on campus is for the tennis and the training. So it's definitely helped even me, you know, as a super senior, if that's what you want to call it, to still interact, to still meet the new players, to still be with the team and have somewhat of a normal situation or a normal experience. So tennis for sure has definitely helped. And also it being a sport where you can social distance, which is really good.
Definitely, and I know, Layla, for you, you talked about you haven't had a ton of time being able to play recently, in recent history, because you've dealt with some injuries. How is that going? How is the road back going, and getting prepared to be back on to play, and getting over some of the adversity you had to face with suffering some injuries?
Yeah, I always kind of joke because I'm like, oh my God, I have 3 years of eligibility, so I can play tennis even in grad school. But in all honesty, I mean, the road to recovery has actually been really good. Yeah, getting that ACL tear freshman year was no easy feat for sure, especially as like a freshman. It was just heartbreaking to be able to watch my teammates but not be able to perform with them. I think that was a very tough experience, but I continued to go to practice even though I couldn't really be on the court, just to be around the experience and be able to watch and see, okay, so when I do get back, this is what I have to do and this is where I have to perform. And so I think having that, and then also actually tearing my meniscus this past February too, both those experiences have kind of made me push to really make sure that I'm physically fit, to be able to perform as the number one for our team. But yeah, in terms of that recovery aspect, been constantly going to PT over the summer. That's all I did for the past couple of, like maybe three months or so. And then while on the off days that we have, when we're not conditioning or on the court training, I'm in the gym lifting, trying to do whatever I can to make sure that I stay in that shape to be able to perform at the level that I need to be. So I guess I've just been taking those extra precautions, extra steps to get where I need to be and be able to be there for my teammates, and not only just be their supporter off the court, but be that number one that they need me to be on the court.
To look up to, yeah.
PT that's what you mentioned, is what you're studying as well. Does that,
Yes.
so you have a lot of experience going through the rehab process. Is that a reason why you picked that? Pick that career?
It's funny that you actually mentioned that. Yeah, I was sitting in my organic chemistry class sophomore year. Was pre-med before being pre-PT, and I mean, it kind of pushed me over the edge because I was like, oh, as a PT major, you don't have to take organic chemistry. but that's not the main reason, of course. Yeah, tearing my ACL, having to go through that process myself of getting rehabilitated, I really fell in love with the fact that the experience itself it's not like an instant gratification. You have to work to see the results. And I think that that's super amazing that these people aren't even able to see the progress right away, but are still constantly making sure that these people who they are rehabbing are, improving health wise, and then just being able to see that at the end that they were able to get this person back to wherever they need to be, whether it be just being able to walk with their grandkids, or walk up and down the stairs. But for me, being able to be back on the court performing, I think that's amazing. And I really do like what I'm doing now, and I really do feel like I'm going in the right direction in terms of what I want to be career-wise. So
I think it was a pretty quick turnaround for you. Like, the recovery was really good. I mean, I can be a first-hand witness, just being friends with Layla and watching Layla be in the gym very often, which is awesome. It's good. It's inspiring for me as well. I mean, she tries to get me to go to the gym more than what I do with Sam, another Italian on our tennis team. And yeah, just a first-hand witness to see the motivation and dedication to get back onto the court and to be the number one that we all know that she can be. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool to see and to witness.
It's definitely, it's been really nice to have, like, on the men's team, being able to connect with them, and the fact that they've been pushing me to go. And like, we kind of have this sort of pact thing where I go with Sam and like today the other Italian, and sometimes Dane when he tries, which he's been a lot better at it's which is awesome. But yeah, having that support system to kind of push me to go all out and strengthen myself too. So it's nice to have them.
I think a lot of carry on.
I was going to say, no, everything, obviously she's been through with the couple injuries. I mean, I know it's got to take its toll mentally, and I've seen nothing but a positive attitude, and I think that is another thing, not only in the game of tennis, but just recovering itself, is having that positive attitude, that knowing you're going to get back to where you need to be, and you're going to compete at the level you can compete at. So, I mean, I think that's always huge, to have that positive attitude.
Yeah, it's impressive what you've been able to do, working extremely hard, multiple injuries you've been able to suffer, and still at the top of your game for this squad. And we're looking forward a lot to, this weekend with the scrimmage and then the first match, and it's going to be fun. And Dana, wanted to ask you, with your last year as a Hawk, what are you most looking forward to in this year as a whole, as your last dance with QU?
Yeah, it's pretty surreal to even think about that. I mean, I remember last season in the spring, that's supposed to be sort of my last dance, playing tennis and stuff like that. So it was a bit of an awkward ending last semester. It was a bit of a, weird situation. We had a quick little senior day at one of our spring break trips, which was very cool and very sweet for the team to do. But didn't feel right to end on that note. Didn't feel right to go out like that. So just very excited to be back. Grateful that Coach Ethan Arns brought me back onto the team as well. And yeah, just very excited to really have that last dance, and hopefully the situation with COVID can fizzle out for the spring, and then we can really do what we're supposed to do. We have a very good team. Would be a privilege and honor to lead the team to some conference wins and to the conference tournament, which is one of the big goals that we've written down for the team. And yeah, just to have a real ending, if that makes sense, or to go out there playing my best and really giving it my all, knowing that it will be my last dance and last sort of chance to play on a college team and have that brotherhood, that situation, the camaraderie and stuff. I love competing, so I can't wait just to get out there onto the court and to actually play matches against other schools and have the team behind me, and hopefully pushing the team to do the best that we can. Yeah, just play my best tennis and lead the way that I know I can.
Yeah, we're all very happy that he is back and ready to actually get that full ending, that he needs, because it was very awkward, that whole situation during spring break, having to just cancel everything, get back up and go back to Quincy. It was wild. And having only like that very short senior day, it's not the experience, that, like I said before, like people have those like ideal experiences that they think of in college, not only just with like their college experience, but with like their team too, having that senior season cut short. But no, we're also happy that he's able to be here competing yet again with us for that final hurrah. So it's cool. It's cool to see him here, and he's a very fierce competitor. So I think he could really do the team well, finishing it up with his last year here. So.
For sure. And we've talked about how your team has prepared physically and mentally, emotionally, like all throughout this time. But also another way that people can support the QU tennis program. You guys are having a fundraiser coming up, right?
Yes, we are having a fundraiser on October 10th. The Bunch family restaurants, such as Chomps, Tropical Smoothie, and Zoops, they have offered to donate a portion of their proceeds back to us for a day of sales, basically. From 12 to 6 is what we're having it from. We'll have some of our players out there in shifts. Myself, Laura, will be out there, and we'll have some T-shirts for sale. But it'll be a great day, hopefully. Hopefully the weather's nice. But I know they've offered to think up of a really great special to throw that weekend. So there should be a good deal to come in and eat some food, definitely at Chomps, if not the other places. And it should be a good thing. I think it'll be just a nice little event to have.
Yeah, and they could hit it's 12 to 6, right?
12
it's
to
less
6.
than a month away. It's on a Saturday. They could hit all the places if they want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have Chomps for lunch and Tropical Smoothie in the afternoon, and
Perfect.
Zoops for supper. Yeah, no, it's all really good food. I've been to all 3 places. I don't know if you guys have, but I really like them.
Yeah, I've been.
Tropical Smoothie is my favorite.
Yep,
So
definitely going there.
I haven't been to Tropical, so that's where I might have to tap into Tropical. I have been to Chomps though, so it's a good opportunity.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. But no, we're excited, and we've got several more fundraising ideas. I know for the spring. I know we'll be having a pickleball tournament at some point. I don't know if you guys have played pickleball before. I know that's a little easier than tennis. It's the new phase coming in, but that'll be a lot of fun. And a couple other ideas. It's been tough this fall with fundraising, being restricted on what we can do. And even if we have something, we'll be limited with numbers. So that's been another challenge of trying to figure out what we're going to do. But I've got some good ideas, and we'll run with it.
Definitely.
Like everything else.
Definitely. And we're going to run with it, kind of start to close this thing out. I know we've covered the program, and we've talked about tomorrow how the scrimmage is happening, right? And this weekend you got the matches coming up and just highlighting the season. I mean, we're so excited. We know so many things have been limited from social distancing, but you guys getting the opportunity to compete, it's fun to watch. It's fun for people who work in the athletic department, like me and like a lot of the other people I work closely with, to know, hey, we still get an opportunity to do what we love, which is cover athletes, reaching for the highest success. So I appreciate you guys taking some time out of your morning to come talk it up, talk about the program, and talk about each of your individual successes. I thought it was a great story, talking about your way back from injury, and also, Dane, about your kind of last hurrah that you didn't even really expect it to be because you thought it was going to be last year. And then we have a first hurrah right now with head coach Ethan Arns in a very unique situation as well. So once again, I appreciate you guys coming on, and I'm looking forward to following your guys' success this coming season.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for having
you.
us.